Hey all, Michael J giving you a big shout out with Operation Military Family. This is part of the Vision 2020 series. We're taking it online, still scheduled for October of 2020. This was our idea of saying, boy, how can we help people cast a vision? How can we help them live on purpose in their life? And some of our great speakers have agreed to just give people hope, kind of share their story, include people in the conversations. So this is an opportunity for people to go ahead and ask questions of people who have accomplished a lot, fell from grace, if you want to call it that way, but then reemerged back on the other side. And today we've got Marques Ogden. I got to tell you, Marques and I, how we met is so unique. We met through LinkedIn. I believe that's how we met.
Right, there it is.
Amazing. Marques reached out, and I'm like, God, what does this guy want? I work with veterans and you know, everybody knows kind of my background. And Marques and I, we have struck up a great conversation, and your experience is just so great. Offensive lineman, you played for the Jaguars, the Ravens, Buffalo Bills, Tennessee Titans. You've got an amazing story, and I want you to share that. And I'm waiting for you to play for the best team out there.
Boom!
Right here, baby. Right
Come
here.
Come on. The only thing good about that jersey, and of course the player is amazing, is he played for Buffalo. That's the only good thing about that jersey.
Okay, well, anyway, so Marques Ogden, welcome, man. Thanks for being part of this series.
Mike, I appreciate it. You know, I'm always excited to come on and share knowledge and talk to people and just give some hope during this very difficult pandemic that are facing across the globe.
Yeah, it's a crazy time, and you know, talk about crazy time. Your story is pretty compelling, pretty crazy too, because if I remember correctly from your story, you did not have your goal set on playing in the NFL. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about that. I mean, how did that happen? I mean, that's rare air to begin with. Some people train their whole life for it, and you just kind of show up and it happens.
Well, here's the thing. My brother was 6'9" in the 8th grade. He was 6'9", 360 pounds at 13 years old. So we kind of knew football was in his future.
Yeah.
I left high school at 6'3". I got to 6'6" before my freshman year at Howard, so I grew 3 inches that summer. But really, I got one scholarship offer to college. That's all I got, Howard, which I am so thankful for. Great 5 years there, great education, Mike, great institution, great friends, great teammates. But again, if you get one scholarship offer out of high school, you go play college football, you don't really think the NFL is going to be in your future. You're excited to go and play, but that's not really what you think. And then right before my last year, I started seeing my name on a couple of NFL draft boards. I saw some people talk to me about, well, Marques, you might be drafted here next year. I called my brother, got his advice. He said, Marques, the Ravens have you on their watch board. You've done some great things, but everybody wants to see you have one true dominant year, get to an all-star game if possible, dominate there, and train your butt off for the last year, and let's see what happens. And that's what I did. Dominant senior year. Went to the Hula Bowl, had a dominant, practice game, had great workouts, and got drafted into the National Football League. And again, it was only a 12-month window that I gave myself. That was really it, 12 months.
Wow.
And that's all I had. And I did.
Nope, we got a little pause.
I did exactly what I said I was going to do, and that's all I did. I'm really excited about what happened because it shows, and I tell you all the time, it's about showing up. Show up every day and you give yourself the best chance.
Yeah, that's great advice. And I think especially now too, is it's so important that we show up every day, right? We control what we can control. And that's so interesting that you took this opportunity. You gave yourself 12 months. You said, I'm going to go for it. You played in the NFL. You played in the NFL, what was it, 6 years? Is that right?
6 years.
Yeah, 6 years. So you came out of that experience. You had some great accomplishments. Your brother plays in the NFL. Does he still play in the NFL?
He retired. He went to the Hall of Fame in 2013.
Okay. All right. Wow. Jeez. Talk about a
Yeah, he was honored as one of the top 100 players of all time at the Super Bowl this year between the 49ers and the Chiefs.
No kidding. So
he's one of the guys that got the red jacket. He's one of the guys that got the red jackets.
Oh, really cool. So cool. So how is that for you living in, I don't want to call it a shadow, but living in a family that has accomplished much? Have you put more pressure on yourself because of that?
Great question. No, because our father played football at Howard. He up my same college I went to. And my brother played football, at UCLA and in the NFL. But we weren't raised in that regard. We weren't raised about competing against each other. We were raised to just compete against ourselves. And it's kind of funny. I made a post on social media about one of my webinars, and Matthew McConaughey said you should have three things in life: someone to look up to, something to look forward to, and someone to chase. And someone to chase is yourself. So that's how we learn. And our father was amazing at not creating or allowing the media, other family, friends to try to create a wedge between me and my brother by trying to compare us to each other. He never did it. So we grew up just kids having a good time. And he's 6.5 years older than I am. So we grew up this, close and friends, and that's how we are today.
Man, that is so cool. So talk to us, because Aaron wrote this in, and I think this is a great question. He's like, if you didn't have this plan to go into the NFL, and if you didn't make the NFL, what was your plan?
Great question. It was to be an investment banker. I actually went to Howard and studied finance, and I interned at Merrill Lynch in downtown DC, right there, probably about a 10-minute drive from the White House. And then I had a job with Merrill Lynch on Wall Street when I left college, because my boss had called one of his cohorts up in New York and said, okay, once he graduates, get him up here. We need some more people with diversity, backgrounds, athletes. We love to have them. So that was my plan, was to go up to New York and work on Wall Street and follow my father's footsteps, he worked as the manager of the stocks and bonds division of an organization. And, he was one of their first African-American bank managers for their organization back in the late 1970s.
No kidding. Well, this is so interesting to me, because we hear oftentimes that professional athletes, within the 5 years after leaving the NFL, they go broke, right? Within 2 years. Is that right?
That's right.
Smokes, within 2 years. Well, I was giving these guys grace. So within 2 years, you have an investment banking background. So you get out of the NFL, you start a company, right? So
That's
you're
right.
living high, you've got money, you start this company, you build this company, it gets all these accolades in Baltimore. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the company was called Caden Premier Enterprises. We were an earthwork company. We started off doing like demolition, sidewalks, concrete, minor stuff. And one of my mentors, who was a big earthwork king in Baltimore City, he ends up going out of business for having some things with his character that were spotty and in question. So when he went out of business, it was into the beginning of our second year, and we made the switch over to earthwork. We did some small site work, some small grading, some small utilities. We had some success, and we grew rapidly. So by the beginning of the fourth year, we went from like $1 million company at the beginning of the second year to over an 8-figure business by the beginning of our fourth year. Now, we did that because I was a very good leader. I hired people correctly. We had great operations and systems and process and procedure. We had a very stout internal team, project management, estimators. We had a fantastic external team, general managers, all these great, finishers, earthwork managers, project managers out in the field, all of that. So we grew rapidly, but unfortunately, Mike, so did my damn ego. And as we had success, I started seeing money in the bank. I'm like, oh my God, I got this much money. I got this much money in the bank. I got over $10 million in the bank. What the hell? Oh, I'm ready to roll, man.
Yeah.
I stopped listening. I stopped being humble. And we ended up, so the money was always going in, going out, job flow, payroll, insurance, all the normal stuff. So I got into a project in 2012 for a big client of mine, and for a major hospital, Johns Hopkins Hospital. I'm sure you've heard of it, in downtown Baltimore. And the job hit a snag where I had to spend about it was between $2.5 to $3 million in about 90 days time. Finished all that, did all that. The problem was it was change order work that I ended up accepting on a handshake because my client kept putting pressure on me because we were delayed on the project. We couldn't get the site dry. So the concrete contract, we couldn't put the pillars in, couldn't go vertical. It got ugly. They looked at me and said, Marques, we promise, do the work, we'll get you paid. We don't have time for a signed change order. We're behind schedule. It's going to take us weeks. Get in there. You are a minority contractor. Trust us. Trust us. I said, all right, I trust you. You gave me $1 million check for this job and advances. I'll take your word. I trust you. That was the beginning of the end. I started to believe all the hype. My best employees started to leave. And when that happened, I couldn't replace the good ones. And then when I finished the work, finally, went to get paid back the change. I'll never forget it. Sat at this big marble table, downtown Baltimore. We walked in, all of our paperwork. We're like, all right, we're going to get a check in our hands or a check within the next 7 days for almost $3 million. Be back on top. I'll hire the right people. I'll get out of my own way. They said, Marques, great work. We're denying your change order. I said, what?
What?
Denying it. I said, why? It was part of what you bought. I said, what do you mean? Like, the guy was sitting right now. I said, right there, he told me, do the work and I'll get you paid. The guy looked his head down the entire meeting. The company said, where's your change order? So I don't have one. You don't have any proof. Take us to court. I had nothing left. No, because all the other jobs I was doing, I stopped doing. As a result of that, I didn't have income coming from other places. And that was it. I was done.
Kidding.
And after that, I tried to save the company, tried to get some investors, try to get some things going. I remember it was the worst Christmas of my life. I knew it was bad when my fiance, who's now my wife, called me right around January. It was like early January. And she went to Walmart to buy groceries. And the credit card and the bank card was denied. I gave her another credit card number, denied again. And literally, I had to move everything I had, like my last few bucks, to another card for it to work. And I said, man, this is it. This is it. I'm done. I can't pay rent. I can't pay my mortgage. I can't pay my bills. I can't pay my people. I'm done. And at that time, I was like, yep, that was it. And I started the process. The March of that year, 2013, I started to pack everything up. And then April, I moved down to Raleigh with my last dollars I had to my name. I got down here, Mike, $400 is all I had left. That's all. $400. And I tell everybody this all the time. In April 2012, I was a multimillionaire. April of 2013, I'm bankrupt. I'm sorry, I'm broke. I'm so broke I can't even afford to start paying bankruptcy process. I can't even afford to even think about it. Can't do it. So from April 2012, I was a multimillionaire. April 2013, I am broke. Done.
Wow. And so you found yourself doing whatever it took at that point. I mean, talk about an experience where you go from playing the NFL, you start this company, gets all these accolades, you got millions of dollars coming in, you're thinking all that in a bag of chips, right? And then you're finding yourself having to pack everything up. You got $400 to your name, and you found yourself pushing a broom, right? A mop at a school. Is that right?
How about this? So I call the NFL because I'm about to be homeless. The NFL approves me for what's called, I was one of the first cases of former players that got approved of the Gene Upshaw Trust Fund, which comes from when players get fined. They end up putting that money into a pool to help former players that need it, that can verify it. So they've been running now since 2013. They've helped probably about 2,500 players. I was one of the first ones. I was in the top 5 to get the program. But they also helped get me a job. So I'm at Merrill Lynch. Where may I tell you my whole finance background?
Yeah.
I'm working at Merrill Lynch in Durham. Loving it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be back. I'm good. Problem was, Mike, I had been out of school for damn near 10, 11 years. And I was trying to practice for my study for my exams with Merrill Lynch. I was failing them, I guess, left and right. After a couple months, 2 months, that was it. Gone. They let me go. All my fault. The next day, I get a job to a construction company. I know a guy who I play basketball with. Hey, man, I'm looking for a job. He said, man, look, hey, I need a job. Come on in. I have a sales part, new division. You're hired. Hired me that Friday, fired me that next Wednesday.
What?
I said, what the hell happened?
Do? For what?
Nothing. He shut down that sales division in 5 days. Hired me on a Friday, fired me on a Wednesday. So I was working.
So I gotta ask this because there's questions rolling in left and right, and you know we typically keep them to the very end, but your story is so compelling, and I think because some people are living it right now, right? Mm-hmm. Different circumstance, but certainly living it right now, Marques, and I think it's so important. One of the questions is, how did you keep a positive attitude through all this, or did you?
So that's an excellent question. The attitude when I left Baltimore and got to Raleigh sucked. My attitude sucked. And what happened was, after I get fired from Merrill Lynch, fired from the construction company, I was coaching football to the youth, and one of my clients had a janitorial business. She said, Marques, I'm looking for some part-time help. If you know anybody, please let them know. I'm paying $8 an hour. I said, is there a background check, time check? She said, no, you can start tomorrow. I said, you look at your new hire. Like, what? Yeah, because I knew, Mike, that my kids weren't going to be coming in as much because of the fact that they're about to go play football in the season. Yeah. I knew this. I said, okay, I'm your guy. She said, well, Marques, I'm going to tell you this. The best I can do is $8.25. I took it. Started that in September of 2013. When my attitude got better and my mindset shifted is when I had the pivotal moment where somebody's trash, spoiled milk, rotten banana peels, all their horrible, protruding trash smell got on my body, clothes, bare skin, everything, because there was a rip on the front side of the bag, which I didn't see. And that's when I threw the trash in the trash on my normal shift around 4:30 in the morning, get ready to leave on my last part of the shift. All the trash came back onto my body, and it just made me just feel horrible. And after about 24 hours, that's when my mindset said, okay, enough is enough. Enough pity party. So April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months, I was down in the dumps. But when I had that pivotal moment, and I'm so glad I was a custodian, man, because it was a job. I was thankful. But that's what jump-started my career. I said, damn, man, like, what happened to you, Marques? What happened to you? And I realized, Mike, no accountability, no ownership, no processes. And as a result, I was always feeling sorry for myself, always. And that's when I said, all right, my mindset's got to shift. You got to get positive. You got to stop feeling sorry for yourself. Otherwise, you'll spend the rest of your life sitting right here, going to teach football to kids, working at night as a custodian, coming home and having a Miller Lite, 1 Miller Lite on the weekdays, drinking 12 Miller Lites on Friday, 12 on Saturday, 12 on Sunday, and going back to work on Monday because you're drunk and you can't get anything better because all you're doing is blaming society for your failure. And once I did that, that's when my life got better.
Man, so that was a pivotal moment. There's a saying that sometimes you got to hit rock bottom in order to build up, right? You know, rock bottom is kind of your foundation. And some people either choose to live there or they choose to grow from it. And you chose to grow from it. And I mean, I think people are experiencing that now, right? Is, my gosh, everything that we knew to be my story is having to suddenly change. Your story changed multiple times, NFL to construction to growing a company to losing it all to, you know, pushing a broom and trying to self-medicate. And we see this oftentimes in the veteran space for sure, is guys going, man, everything that I knew, mission, purpose, identity, everything has changed. And now I got to figure out how to get back on track. And you're talking that is, you went through several mission, purpose, identity changes. How did you end up in coaching, like personal business coaching? Because you've rewritten your story and people are going to have to rewrite their story. So how do you recommend people rewrite their story, Marques? Because that's going to be important moving forward.
So here's what I did, is that I took it upon myself to say, all right, everything I did in my life where I made mistakes, especially when it came to my construction business, that's valued information that I can help share with people to minimize. You'll never live a perfect life in business. Ever, never, never. I saw Mark Zuckerberg say, well, how do I avoid mistakes? Just try to just be scared all your life. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
But what you can do is minimize your mistakes. So that's how I started approaching. I said, I'm speaking on stage to inspire you to take accountability and learn from my life. That's what I'm all about. Through my coaching, my books, my speaking, my consulting. And I realized this too, Mike, every business is driven by humans. Yep. I don't care who you are, what you are. And humans what? Make mistakes. So how can you help humans with your experiences minimize their mistakes to live their best life possible? Yeah. And that's why I got into coaching. I said, I need to start sharing with people the success I had, the failure I had, how I did things right, how I did things wrong. You know, I tell people all the time, don't get mesmerized by early success. Don't do it. Because that's the minute you start doing that and believe in the hype, that's the minute you let your guard down. I've been there. Trust me, it ends bad.
Yeah, so I mean, you took your mess and your messes, and you kind of created your message from that. How did you get on stage? Because there's people every day like, man, my life is all messed up. Nobody's going to listen to me. But I think what I hear you saying is, no, people will listen to you. You can influence people around you, and some will choose to build a platform from that, and others will just be sources of encouragement, right?
So here's the question I have for people. How deep are you willing to go? Yeah. How deep? I have clients that have some amazing stories that they don't want to tell. I'm like, why? Well, I'm not ready to go there yet. I'm not ready to share that part of my life. I'm not ready to be ashamed or be embarrassed or be ridiculed. I said, why do you care? Yeah. People, here's what I tell people all the time. You're going to get judged regardless of what you do. Regardless. And if you don't go get your hands dirty, and if you don't go and get what you have to get, but more important, if you're not going to share your story at the deepest, darkest level, don't bother being a speaker. Don't bother. Because here's the thing. People want to get on stage. All right, great. What are you going to do to get on stage? Are you going to actually go out there and take the tactical steps that are necessary? Are you going to go invest in a website? Right? You don't have to have a whole bunch of money, but you're going to invest a few dollars that you had if you're broke like I was in a website. Are you going to invest in getting someone, paying somebody $20 like I did when I was broke to film some of my stuff? Right? It was crappy film, but at least it was something. Right? Yeah. Are you going to beat the door down and be told no and keep going? Mike, I was told no for 30 straight months on every paid speaking job I went after. 30 months.
Well, listen, you proved that you got resilience, right? I mean, you stayed after it. I think I love what you're saying, because when the vision is big, the circumstances don't matter, right? You kept pushing on. You're like, this is what I want. I'm going for it.
Here's what I'm going to tell people all the time. What is your why? Yeah. What is your why? Your why has to drive you past all the adversity, all the no, all the naysayers, all the haters. Because if you succumb to that or to outside influences, your why isn't strong enough, you're going to break. You're going to break.
Talk to me about your support network, because I think, you know, in the military, we talk about action plan, support network, right? You got to have a plan of action. You got to have a support network, people that build you up. And if they don't, you know, people that are going to support you, certainly in the mission field. How was your support network going through this? Was your family supportive? Did you have naysayers? Talk to me about this a little bit.
Did I have naysayers? Yep. Is the sky blue? Do I have tattoos all over my body? Yeah. You know, am I black? Yeah. Yeah. Dude, naysayers, that's putting, I had the biggest bunch of haters ever. Marques, you're not going to be the next Tony Robbins. Well, I'm not white, And you're right, I'm not. I'm not going to be him. Don't want to be him. Why don't you stick to high school football? Why don't you be a coach? Why don't you do this? Speaking is not in your area. One of my family friends, well, one of my friends who played with my brother got into a job, and he said, Marcus, the only reason I'm taking this call is because I play with J.O. That's all. You don't have the skill set. You don't have the knowledge. You're not good enough. I'm like, what do you do? Like, I've known you since I was freaking 18 years old, and you couldn't even give me a time to give me some encouragement. He literally tried to tear me down. This is a guy that I knew since I was 18 years old. It was about, so I was like 35 at the time. Yeah, can I get my first page? Yeah, I was 34, 35 at the time. And I've known him for what? 10, almost 20 years. And that's how he treated me. The only support staff I had was my wife, who was my fiance, now my wife, her family, a couple of my family members, not a lot. That was it. That's all I had. That's it. Like, football, everybody's like, well, Marcus, you played in the NFL. Like, you know, they love speakers. Yeah, they like speakers if you're going to talk to a football team or to want to go and motivate somebody, right? That's fine. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm an inspirational keynote speaker with action steps. I don't go so. As part of my story, Mike, football is about 30 seconds of a 1 hour keynote. That's all it is. People don't care about that. Like, people aren't going to go put on pads, go out in the field and go play the game. If I'm talking to a football team or something like that, I'll talk more about it. But that's not important. And that was my biggest problem in 2.5 years. I'm like, well, I'm a former NFL athlete. You should be honored to have me on your stage. I was being a prick. Yeah. And I'm like, Marcus, you need to help people with the business side and those action steps, because society can relate to that. They can't relate to hitting 6'7", 330-pound monsters. They don't know what that's like. You know what I mean? They don't know what it's like. So once I started to put myself into a position of relating to people and being humble and creating value and stop pitching people and give people advice and information and steps, that's when I started landing clients like AXA Advisors, the Home Depot, JP Morgan and Chase, Red Gold Quality. That's when it happened. Consulting, coaching. I'm coaching a guy right now with special operations in Iraq, fought for our country. Amazing guy. He worked at the White House under George Bush and George W. Walker Bush and Barack Obama. He had the co-founder of JetBlue write a foreword in his book, but he's struggling with how to put together a presentation, how to ask for business. He reminds me of me when I started. I am coaching him, and he's going to be a joy to work with. His story is amazing. He just has to get out of his own way and get some action steps, some processes to learn how to make the ask at the right time. Not early. I tell you all the time. If you meet somebody for the first, Mike, I met you, Mike? Probably I'll say, let's throw it out, maybe like August of last year. Yeah. Maybe. Okay. Yeah. You didn't hire me to speak for you until what? I think it was like maybe December-ish. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So if I would say, hey, Mike, nice to meet you, man. Hey, I see you got an event going on. How about you hire me today for that? People like, what the hell's wrong with this dude? Right. I just met you. Why would I bring your big ass on stage? I don't know you. You don't know me. Yeah. But that's where people go wrong. They think sales is about making the pitch today. If you're making the pitch today, your pipeline is insufficient. It's got to be where you keep working with people, building value, and they say, you show me enough value, you're hired. What is your fee?
Well, see, and I think this is so good, Marcus, and we could go forever. And I can't wait to have you on stage in October. And I know we're coming up on our half-hour mark. If there was one thing you could tell everybody, right? Like, you got an audience and you're like, man, in this time, this pandemic time, when people are trying to rewrite their story, trying to figure it out, what is that one thing you think people should focus on that is actually helping you? We talk about mindset. That's so important. You've proved it. But is there one thing you think that people listen? A lot of different things you could be doing, but this one thing is going to help catapult you through this. What is it?
Hire a coach. I don't give a damn
Mentorship.
who
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It could be me. It could be you. It could be hire someone. But here's the catch. Hire someone that you can relate to,
Yeah.
that you want to go down that path. When I got coached in 2018 by my coaches and mentors in the program, that's when my life changed. And a good friend of mine named Andre Collins played in the NFL, was an outside linebacker for around your Redskins, part of Andre Collins and Doug Williams. He was part of that Redskins franchise. He's the executive director of NFLPA for retired players. He said, Marcus, I'm telling you, if you want to elevate, go to this event. Go to this program. I fought him. No, I'm good. I think I know. And then I said, shoot, that's how I lost Caden. Let me just go. Best thing ever, Mike. Because here's the thing. Mindset, strategies, tactics. When we're in the thick of things, we can't see everything.
Yeah.
Because we're so blinded by trying to just move and pivot and all that type of stuff. We don't sometimes see the overall strategic goal or the tactical steps to execution. Hire someone or invest. I tell you all the time, it's not an expense. The right coach is an investment. If I hadn't invested in my coach, I would not be getting ready to buy our house right now. There'd be no way. Because I would never made the kind of money what we're doing helping people. And again, I'm not expensive. For what you get, it's a great deal. But the most important thing is it's about you get the experiences. But if I did not invest, Mike, with my coach, I'm telling you right now, where I am, my good man and good friend, would not be anywhere near where I am today. Because
I love that, Marcus. I think, mentorship is so important, and people say, I can't afford it. And I know, sometimes we get clever and say you can't afford not to do it, but we really choose where we put our money. And I think, I want people I'm going to encourage everybody to reach out to you, to follow you. You've got great little motivational videos that are out there on LinkedIn and Facebook and everything else. You got a great book, a best-selling book too, that's out now too. And I think people need to plug into that. And if they can learn from your experience that helps them navigate this experience that we're all in, to help them rewrite their own story and see that there is hope, that there is ability to come out the other side, I think it's brilliant. Marcus, we got to wrap it up, brother. This is so exciting. You have been awesome. I thank you. If people want to follow you, where do they find you?
They can find me on my website, which is www.marques, MARQUES, Ogden, OGDEN.com. LinkedIn's Marques Ogden, Instagram's Marques Ogden, Twitter's Marcus_Ogden. And I'm going to say this last thing, Mike, and I'm going to let you wrap up. I lost everything in 90 days. This is exactly what people are going through now with this pandemic. Do I know everything? Absolutely not. Am I the best coach in the world? Absolutely not. I mean, I'm always trying to get better. But I've lived through this type of chaos.
Yeah.
So understand, if you're having a difficult time, it will pass. But focus on your strengths and double down on them, and then grow from there. Don't let this chaos and pandemic take over your life. Take control of your life, be assertive of who you are, and move forward with conviction. And no matter who you are or what you're doing, you can achieve whatever you want in life. That's it.
Man, I love it. I 100% love it. Marques Ogden, thank you for that. For those of you that have watched this thing, be sure you find Marques Ogden. Be sure you check him out. Be sure you visit his website. You can visit our website. We'll direct you guys there. Marcus' profile is on there. Marcus, thanks for being on this show, buddy.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Shelly. Appreciate it. Mike, as always, my good man. Pleasure to be good friends with you, my good friend.
Absolutely. Be well, be blessed.
Talk to you soon.